Greeting everyone. Today we will present the analysis of the financial statement of these two companies, namely Petronas and FNN. This analysis involves horizontal analysis, vertical analysis, and ratio analysis. Before that, we introduce our group members. Start with Fakhrul, Arhan, Amirah, Razanah, Izzati, Nursyazwani, Myra, Shaheerah, and Muhammad Kamal. Next, we start introducing Petroleum Nasional Berhad National Company, also known as Petronas, which has been listed on Bursa Malaysia at least 3 of its subsidiaries, such as Petronas Chemicals Group, Petronas Dagangan, and Petronas Gas Berhad.
Next is Fraser and Nif, known as FNN company, that is very popular among us, as we can even find it in our homes. This company, previously known as the Singapore and Strait Area Water Company, that also been listed in the Bursa Malaysia main board. They sell and produce beverage products, dairy products, and many more. They even have more than 220,000 outlets in Malaysia, Cambodia, Laos, and Thailand in order to achieve their mission and vision with their slogan, pure enjoyment, pure goodness.
Okay, by looking at the graph, all the graph is increasing from 2016 and to 2017, but the total current liabilities from 2016 2017 is decreasing. Look at here. That was the difference. And for horizontal analysis, by using the formula, we can see that profit of the year is increasing by 4.64% of the year. Next, for 2018 and 2017, there's two things decreasing, which is total non-current asset here and total current liabilities. They're decreasing. And horizontal analysis for 2018 and 2017, there have some profit here, which is 5.02 that Petronas Gas received. Beside, for this year, is everything increasing. So that's for this year. And profit is 4.93% here. And for this year, we have 1, 2, and 3 decreasing. And for horizontal analysis, we have 4.95 increasing the profit from 2019 to 2020. Thank you.
Okay, thanks to Wani for the wonderful explanation. Okay, so I'm going to present to you about horizontal analysis for FNA Berhad and comparison between these two companies. In 2017, we noticed it was more successful than in 2016 because through analyze, FNN recovered payment to the tax authorities last year, and a part of this current tax have to be paid to others, which why during 2017 they have decreased the total liabilities by 9.69%. In 2018, through horizontal analysis, we noticed that the inventory of goods has decreased by 8.05%. This means that FNN applies the method just in time or controlling more production by selling from last year's stock. Through horizontal analysis in 2019, we noticed that loans and borrowing have decreased the most by 87.57%. This means that the company is focused on paying loan and borrowing that decrease the total liabilities. Within equity, FNN has not issued any treasury share and share capital. For 2020, asset in 2020 increased by 1.86%. In asset, inventories are the only item that increased by 13.41%, meaning that goods are sold more than the company purchased. We also noticed that the trade and other risk payable have decreased the most by 22.26%. This means that the company has fulfilled liabilities to partners and investors. There are some parts that can be compared between these two companies. For example, net cash and cash equivalent for Petronas Gas is lower than FNN. Total liabilities for Petronas Gas is lower than FNN. Besides, total equity also shows some difference in percentage that Petronas Gas is lower than FNN. Petronas Gas and FNN company cannot be compared directly which company is more successful because they are from the different sectors, which why we cannot decide who is more successful.
Now we proceed to vertical analysis for Petronas Gas Berhad. Based on the vertical analysis results of the years 2016 to 2017, for the total current assets increasing from 2016 to 2017 with 15.40% to 19.33%. Total current liabilities show 6.27% for 2016 and 4.6% in 2017, which is slightly decreasing. If we consider all items of assets, property, plant and equipment contribute the largest in total assets with 77.37% in 2016. For liabilities, borrowings have the largest share with 16.90% in 2017. In terms of the income statement, profit of the year in 2016 is 38.7%, while 37.11% in 2017, which is showing decreasing. Next, we notice the vertical analysis result of the years 2018 to 2019. Total current assets increasing from 2018 to 2019 with 25.18% to 26.12%. The results of total current liabilities show increasing from 3.57% in 2018 and 5.5% in 2019. In terms of the income statement, profit of the year in 2018 is 34.71%, while 36.36% in 2019. Lastly, based on the vertical analysis result of the years 2019 to 2020, we noticed that the total current assets decreasing from 2019 to 2020 with 26.12% to 21.41%. Total current liabilities show increasing from 5.5% in 2019 and 5.44% in 2020. Property, plant and equipment contribute the largest in total assets with 72.4% in 2020. For liabilities, borrowings have the largest share with 17.9% in 2020. In terms of income statement, profit of the year in 2019 is 36.35%, while 37.24% in 2020.
Based on the results of the vertical analysis of the years 2016-2017, we see that current assets in 2017 is 49.85%, while in 2016 with 52.04%. Liabilities have a share of 30.87% in the total liabilities for 2018, while for 2017 with 34%. If we consider all items of liabilities, accounts payable have the largest share. In terms of the income statement, the cost of goods sold participates in sales revenues 70.30% in 2018 and 68.93% in 2019, while gross profit 29.70% participates in sales revenues for 2018 and 31.07% in 2019. Operating expenses have almost the same share in 18.70% and 18.52% for both 2019 and 2020. Operating profit for 2019 participating 12.76% in sales revenue, while 12.92% in 2020. Of total revenues, 10.28% remain net profit in 2020, while 10.06% in 2019. According to the vertical analysis of the balance sheet for two companies in 2020 shows that the current assets for FNN are 49.20% and 21.41% for Petronas Gas Berhad. Meanwhile, the result shows 20.44% for FNN and 5.45% for Petronas Gas Berhad for the current liabilities. The financial performance of FNN and Petronas Gas Berhad was optimal. It is seen that the amount of the total assets was highest than the number of total liabilities, which means these two companies were capable of covering their liabilities by the company's assets. Results of the total equity show that FNN has the highest number than Petronas Gas Berhad, which is 76.43%, then 29.31%.
Next is ratio analysis. This analysis has three classifications, namely liquidity ratio, solvency ratio, and profitability ratio. So first, the liquidity ratio that measures the short-term ability of the company to pay its debt and to meet unexpected needs for cash. So this is liquidity ratio for Petronas Gas Berhad and this is for FNN Berhad. So for current ratio, as you can see, Petronas Gas is negative, so further investigation is needed. It might be because they are not using their current asset efficiently or taking on too much debt. However, for FNN, their trend is positive, indicates that they has been able to pay down debt. Next is quick ratio that calculated to identify problems that the company may have paying off its current liabilities. For both companies, their quick ratio is higher than 1 for the last 4 years. So it means both companies have no problem covering their short-term debts. We move to the account receivable turnover that determines how quickly their short-term debt is collected or paid. For example, in 2020, turnover ratio for PETGAS is 6.58 and for FNN is 6.71. So if we divide 365 days with this ratio, we will get 55 and 54 days. So if the company use net 30 policy, it is seriously SQ as the customer will pay 24 and 25 days late. But if they use net 60 policy, it is exceed the goal, so there is no problem. Last one is inventory turnover and days in inventory. It measures the company's ability to flip its product to cash and the average time. Let's just look at 2020. Inventory turnover for PETGAS is 47.7 and takes 7.65 days to sell its inventory. While for FNN, the inventory turnover is 4.47 and takes 81.68 days to sell its inventory. It looks different, right? But actually, it is normal for both companies since they are from different industry. So both companies is actually in their industry average and they are doing well in flip their products to cash.
Thank you to Izzati. Next, solvency ratios are used to measure a company's ability to survive over long-term obligations. So, two components were analyzed. From both tables, the two companies has low debt-to-asset ratio. That means their assets still cover the company's liabilities. For time interest earn ratio, Petronas Gas Berhad interest payments on its debt are well covered by EBIT, which cover the total interest payments more than 12 times. While FNN Berhad earns more interest than it pays, which cover the total interest payments more than 100 times. Profitability ratios measure the income or operating success for a given period of time. So, 5 components were analyzed. For the Petronas Gas Berhad, the company's profit margin decreased for 3 years but increased on 2020 due to increasing in sales and cost of goods sold. It has a constant asset turnover except increase in 2018. So, this utility sector has a good range of asset turnover ratio, which means more efficient in generating revenue from assets. Return on assets of this company has the highest rate in 2020, which shows the annual basis of the company earns about 10.94% rate of return on its assets. The return common stockholders' equity is decreasing from 2017 to 2019, but in 2020, the company returns 15.63% of its net income to the common stockholders. Based on the table, EPS increased back in 2020, indicating the net income increased without raising any funds by issuing shares in the certain period. In contrast, for FNN Berhad, the company's profit margin increased for 3 years but decreased on 2020 due to decreasing in sales and cost of goods sold. Based on the declining asset turnover ratio between 4 years, the company has lacked an asset turnover ratio, indicating it is not efficient in using its asset to generate revenues or sales. It also has the lowest ROA rate in 2020, which is decreased sharply in 2019 to 2020, which shows the annual basis of the company earns a 10.84% rate of return on its assets. Their ROCE is in control for 3 years but decreased in 2020. However, they managed to generate 14.58% of net income by each ringgit invested. EPS remains to decrease from 2016 to 2020. Thus, in 2020, the company makes the least profit due to the lowest ratio between the years and fewer profits will distribute to its shareholders.
In conclusion, the financial analysis is performed with a detailed and objective purpose for evaluating and analyzing the results of past financial enterprises and their forecast for the future. Financial analysis is extremely important and should be applied when investing and in venture capital. That's all from us. Thank you.